Welcome to the Become Sensible podcast, where we discuss practical accounting, finance, and tax for everyday business. I'm your host, Fiona, and I'm here to show you that no matter what your business financial situation is, you can change it. Good morning and welcome back to the podcast Become Sensible. So this is like the last stress of the year, and many business owners and founder would be like, okay, pretend everything is fine, but like they receive ton of reminder and notification from the state and the IRS, and they wonder whether their financial is like all ready for the tax season, so that the new year start will be in the right way. And you just wonder like whether like, is this too late to fix finance for my business in this year? If you are in this situation, let's take a deep breath because you are not alone. You are not behind the way that you think. There are like 7 common mistakes that business owner and founder make in this quarter. And if you can fix like 2-3 of them, you already like on the right track to start the January in a very fresh start, not look like hangover from the 2025. So today we will talk about those mistakes, and more importantly, I will give you the way to fix them so that you can feel like confidence before the December 31st and start the new year with a strong foundation for your business. So let's dive in. So the mistake number 1 is that you wait until the tax season to really discuss about your number. So this is really the biggest one. Most founder, business owners, because the volume and the demand in the business that make you like don't actually have it all the time. And then it's push your time to focus on the number into this quarter. You don't have the time to have a conversation about number, not because you irresponsible, but because the moment that you try to open and understand this report, you don't actually understand it. And I know that on the market, most of the people that do the bookkeeping, they just enter the transaction for you, reconcile it, and you come in and you run your own report on QuickBooks without actually understand deep down, okay, where's my profits, whether it's my cash flow, what does your situation look like, whether I make enough profit margins to have a cash to actually reinvest into the business, whether that they hire the next position or whether change in terms of your strategy in your business. And then the worst situation is that you in miracle way that your financial report is so a sizable profit, which is you don't actually have a time to understand and to look at into it, but because you have a sizable profits, it make your tax situation quite challenging because we all get tax on your net profits. It's not on the gross, not on your spend, but on the net profits. And if the bookkeeping done not correctly and you have a sizable net profits, you will have a predictable high tax bill coming up. And you didn't have a time to look at into it until like April. Then at that time, like who actually have the money to pay right away 50, even hundreds of thousands of dollars in terms of tax. And I remember I have a client that came to us like last year. He told me like he and his wife run a business, make around like roughly $2 million in revenue. And after all we spend, they make around like $400,000 in net profit. And he said because their bookkeepers just track everything in spreadsheets. I never have the time to sit down and talk with him about, okay, this, the number, what it means and how it's affecting his tax situation. He said every single year in April, he and his wife like basically couldn't eat for a week because the tax bill was so huge, like couple $100,000 in terms of tax bill. And he couldn't ask them to explain what is going on in their financial report that make them to pay so much in terms of tax. They became our clients and we set it up, the bookkeeping correctly. They meet us 3, 4 times a year. We went over the number. And especially this quarter before the year end, he would come in and we explain everything and he double check the number and it makes sense. And we would recommend him some of the strategies to help him to mitigate his tax situation. He say like, never before he would feel like so relieved to find his tax, his like not have a 1 week of like couldn't eat anything because the tax bill is just wipe all the money in the bank to pay tax. It is tremendous anxieties and tough situation for him. And you say like a couple $100,000 in net profits, why wouldn't? Because you would use those net profits to reinvest in some certain thing, and you need to pay like for yourself to pay like personal financial obligation too. So it's not like everyone have a like couple $100,000 in cash in the bank to pay tax at one point. That's why look at the number during the year is very important. But if you can, this is the time. Give yourself 1 hour this week. Just sitting down with your CPA, your bookkeeper, with your accounting team, and have a real conversation with them to actually understand what is going on and pull your bank statement, pull your financial report, and ask all the questions about the number. And if you cannot do this by yourself, you need to find the company, the accounting, the CPA that actually do this with you. And sit down at least 1 hour per month. If your business is sizable, need to have someone sit down with you at least 1 hour per month and ask the question and explain and understand the number. Because if you do, they do not help you. Your boss is completely behind, and you end up like paying $50,000, even hundreds of $1,000s in tax for no reason. Because sometimes it's mid decodings, mid classification, mid thing. And there are certain people, they not going to go beyond the requirement or the thing that they need to take care at all. So make sure that you actually sitting down and having a real conversation with them. Number 2, guessing your tax bill. This is most, I see this all the time with like hundreds of clients in small business and I serve. And there is normally like in the situation that like, number 1, they hope it will be fine. Number 2, they prepare for the work situation and then they hide from that situation. And neither way is happy at all. Tax are not emotional. It's just the number. Like how to fix this? You just run a simple tax projection. Look at your year-to-date income and then subtract the reasonable expense and at least multiply for your tax rate. So that if you want to do it by yourself. So the rules in estimated you need to know is you need to pay at least 100% of your tax in last year or pay 80% of your tax of 2025 so that avoid your penalty. But if you don't have this number and it's so complicated, your tax situation, I suggest you to have basically a tax planning with CPA or any CPA actually provide this service. Like our company, this quarter is very busy for us because many of our clients, they want to have a tax planning. They want to look at forward, prepare and save the cash or any strategy to help them to mitigate the tax liability. Because tax planning is not like you do something shady, but basically like you instead of pay the tax to the government, you use the tax rule and regulation that can reinvest in your business or invest into your retirement account or do something else that help your tax saving is so much that you don't need to pay that high tax rate at all. And if doing all of these make you feel like very confusing and overwhelming, our company actually do this projection for business owners and founders every single week. So if you need is just send us the worst tax or like planning, we would happily to help you with it. The mistake number 3 is ignore contractors payment. So if you pay any contractors for like at least $600 per year during the year, in January you are obligated to provide a 1099 for them. And you don't want to be like in January, you wake up and then you need to find where is the W-9, where the information to is issue the 1099. So the best way is like from now until like December, you sit down and go over with your accounting team, with the people that on the team that help you with this finance bookkeeping. Go over to see like whether they have all the information that needed to prepare for the 1099. That is very important. Otherwise, in January, you like try to like scrum over everything and try to get the document. And it will delay this for you in issue the 1099 for your contractor. Number four, not reviewing your margin before setting 2026 pricing. So pricing is very important because on every single unit that you sell, it either that's a service or it is that is product. Every single unit that you sell, you cannot even not make profits on it. More of this is not gonna be sold your profits problem. And that is why you need to be able to understand, okay, where is your how much is gross profit margins on every service or like unit that you sell. If it has more profit margins, that is wonderful. But if you just break even or you lost on every single service unit that you sell on that kind of product or service, you should take a look into it and change your pricing. Maybe your pricing was wrong. Some of the people is just like compare with the competitors and make up the number that they don't actually look into the back end of their business, how all the spend go into every single unit that they sell or the service that they sell in the business at all. So how much, one of the example is that like recently, like when we had this new client in July and their profit margins was like net profit margins was only like 5%. It's a very thin profit margins compared to his industry. And then the other thing is they have a very high long day of account receivable that make like thin profit margins at with a long cycle of account receivable that make cash flow is very low. Like basically it's just on very hard situation whether how they whether hire the new people coming in, new staff coming in because they don't have a cash to cover for that spend. And when we take a look into it, we focus on how to solve these profit problem so that it helps them in terms of hiring decisions or like the next investment in their business. And so if you not change in terms of pricings or profits based on the profits or not looking in restructure of your profits structure, then you would have like really challenge in scaling and grow the business, especially with small business that cash flow is absolutely very important because who actually have a couple $1 million sitting around, even like $200,000 sitting around to do every investment in the business. That's rarely anyone who does from ground up rarely have those luxury situation at all. So mistake number 5 is not checking the detailed silent spend. So there would be like a ton of spending your business that very small amount, and we normally like ignore all of these things. But I'm guarantee with you, if you add all of this, is come up like $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a year. And it's maybe that is where your profit problem is. So make sure that once per month, but if you didn't do the whole entire year, that's fine. Now sitting down with your accountant, with your accounting team, go through these small expense, okay? With the subscription that you no longer use, the software your team no longer use, the subscription that on the news that you never actually read it anymore. So make sure that all of these unused product or subscription or spend need to be canceled out and make sure that you don't waste the money on the thing that you don't use it. And if you have an accounting team, normally like monthly accounting meeting normally would help you to notify these things. If they don't do it, they don't do a very good job in helping you with your business financial situation at all. Mistake number 6 is assuming grow equal healthy. Some of you listening in makes more money than you ever, but somehow you feel like you don't have any money at all. I have a meeting with clients all the time, potential client all the time. People say, okay, the money hit to the bank and the money coming out of the bank. It's coming out very fast as it's coming in. So that's just one of the things about cash flow problem is even the business is grow significantly, but why you actually don't have the money in the bank, and that's make you feel like more overwhelming. You think about it, it's like you build a house. If your foundation on the house is very like not stable and is moving and wobble, and then you build more layer on top of it, like scaling fast, revenue increase, all of it is make the house even like moving worse. And that is so many business have that situation. The more people you hire in, the more thing that you build on top of it, more product launch, more services coming out. But somehow more location that you open, but somehow you feel like your business is not doing it at all. And the answers is more than ever you have it before. So how to fix this? Like before you plan for 2026, ask yourself, do I know my cash flow? What is every single thing that is coming in to my business, coming out to my business every single month? Do my business actually make the profits? Do I know what is coming in next month and coming out in next month? Do I know which client or service or product are training my profits? Do I know where money is leaking? If not, then you need an advisory call. And of course, it's just not more than just revenue, how to make more money, but how to actually manage these things so that it's not leak your money and drain all of your cash flow. And finally, mistake number 7, start January without a yen glow. A yen close is mean this is very silent killer. If you don't close 2025 correctly, January will be like very messy because your tax season is coming in. Your number will lie to you all year. So here's this 4 years checklist should including reconcile all the accounts, update payroll records, confirm contractor total, run the final profit and loss, closing out all the balances, document any like big purchases, prepare for estimated tax, and clean up all the uncategorized transaction. So normally these things, if you are a business owners and you run a sizable company and scaling, these things normally you don't do it. Your staff accountant or your accounting team would normally need to handle these things for you. But if they don't, you need to have a year-end close meeting with them to make sure that these things is handled very well for you. Because of course, you don't supposed to know everything about accounting as a business owner, but you need to know some certain thing that you can ask them, verify with them, and make sure they do the proper thing. Because it's like there's so many business owner I see that when they come in for tax, they say, my accounting team is just screw me up on this, or this thing just happened, and what can I do for it? That is the thing that you can is if you have a checklist, make sure that you handle it during the year instead of like in January, in February. If you need us to help you with this, we also can do it too. We specialize in clean up financial record very fast. Like get the whole year bank transaction and financial report done inside 2-3 weeks, and you have the number clearly, correctly. This is one of the expertise that our team specialize in. So people normally make the finance become so complicated that you cannot even understand and feel overwhelming. If you like listen to this and feeling like tight, familiar pressure in your chest, just pause because it doesn't need to be that way. You're actually not behind. You're not falling. You are the founder in Q4 and you are the business owner that need to run so many part of your business. This isn't like this for every single people. The difference is simply this. Most founders, they freeze, they avoid it, and they wait until the tax season to do it. But you place on this episode that is already like one step ahead of many people. And if you want have you have get your book done, get your tax plan done, get you understand your number, prepare for your 2026 budgets, you always have a resolution. And we as the team, our company also like really excellent and good in this, like our expertise is in this, so that you can start a 2026 with clarity, with confidence, and a business finally that's working with you, not against you. Thank you so much for your time today, and I hope that this episode helping you. If it does, just make sure that you save, you share, and follow us. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next couple episodes. Bye bye.